Okay, good evening, people. Welcome to another live stream. I'm joined again by popular demand, shall I say, by Mr. Apple Westcott. I've got to gas him up because off the back of our last one, people have been asking for more, man. They want to see more Apple, man. So I had to get you back.
Mate, I don't know what's wrong with them. They must be they must be a bit weird.
Now, shout out to everyone who's been supporting as well. Apologies, we didn't start at 5, due to some timing errors, shall I say, to say the least. But, we're here. Before we get started, though, got interesting news as well that's rocked the world, especially the footballing world, about Diego Maradona. Crazy to think that, such a legend has left us. Again, just... Yeah, it's crazy to think that, again, 60 years old, obviously he's had things going on in his life, but again, still a footballing icon and a genius as well, man. So God rest his soul.
Yeah, definitely rest in peace, Diego Maradona. It's crazy, just, it's strange when you think about it. People like Michael Jackson, Kobe Bryant, Diego Maradona, like these iconic historic figures in their craft in sport, and it's just crazy when like the void that's left when these things happen. It's nuts the way that the world has reacted to it. But he's one of the greatest of all time at this thing that he done. One of the greatest human beings on the planet to ever do this thing, and it's an enormous achievement, for everybody related to him and his family, and it's just obviously it's a horrible loss to the game, and more so to his family. If memory serves me correctly, I think his daughter was married to Sergio Aguero.
That's correct. Yeah. They had a child together, I believe, as well. So I mean, even earlier today, Callum Best, obviously son of George Best, tweeted out and said that 15 years today that he lost his dad on the same day. So two footballing icons have been lost on the same day as well. Obviously midway through the day as well. Not a footballing icon per se, but Heavy D from Arsenal Fan TV lost his life today as well. But again, this news about Maradona has just hit differently because Maradona, World Cup, the stuff that he did with Napoli, again, the legend over there as well. Everything else in between, like just proper legends. Like, it's crazy to think that he's
a pioneer in the sport. It's the kind of things that I think in this day and age we're kind of lacking. There's only Messi and Ronaldo that are kind of doing those kinds of things. And they say they talk about generational talents, and obviously Messi, Maradona, and Pele in that era, they were the Messi and Ronaldo. And I think because of the era that we live in now, we talk about Messi and Ronaldo, but what Maradona and Pele were doing then was just uncomparable. They're just completely different levels. There's just absolutely different levels. And actually, I just wanted to add that further to that list is a really close to home memorable day today as well. Is the birthday of Kyan Prince, who was unfortunately murdered, and had his life cut short. And he was just a great personality. I know it's so cliched because people always want to say nice things about people that aren't here anymore, but I couldn't be more genuine when I say this kid was just like, he had this aura about him, just whether he was boxing or playing football, girls liked him, boys liked him, that he genuinely never had a single enemy anywhere. Like, he was just an unbelievable personality, and today would have been his 30th birthday. So rest in peace.
Rest in peace. And again, heart goes out to obviously his father Mark as well. Again, the QPR family as well. Shout out to them as well. Again, today, just this year in general.
It's a strange time. It's a really, really weird time, man. And I guess you can do one of two things. You can either let it drag you down, or you can sort of use that as a platform to try to catapult yourself onto bigger and better things.
Yeah, no, I truly believe that. So, again, thoughts go out to all of those families that have lost a loved one, especially this year, even today as well. So, again, rest in peace, Maradona, George Best, Kyan Prince, and Heavy D as well, like everyone as well, just involved in this footballing family. on a more of a light note, obviously getting back to our conversation before,
Yeah.
I said before earlier in the chat that people seem to kind of resonate with it. I've had lots of Saul on from My Football Coach. I've had Keith Bonus on yesterday as well. Obviously, he was involved in the chat, and everyone seemed to be resonating towards what you were saying as well about academy players being treated better, and another couple of things that you mentioned as well. So again, just hats off to you, bro. Obviously, just being a voice out there who's not willing to kind of hold his tongue per se. You know what I mean? So shout out to you, man.
Well, it comes at a price because I think there's an element of fear and insecurity when I speak. I think people can sometimes feel offended by what I say, and then when I'm around them, they either don't say anything at all, or there's a lot of keyboard warriors. But I must say the response that I've had since the conversation, I've had easily, if I could put up a screenshot of my DMs on Twitter and Instagram, I've had easily over 50 messages from people that just kind of wanted to talk football, and I've had similar experiences in either their son or their daughter was kind of let go or pushed out of a club or a place because of an attitude problem. And like I was saying before, we all have different paths and we live different lives, and it's impossible to know what's going on in people's lives. And our only job as developers and educators is to try to relate to people as best as we can. And if we can't do that, we have to be honest with ourselves and say, right, I can't do this, but maybe this person can, rather than remove the problem. We need to try to address the problems and try to help each other and help people get through these things. And I think that's what makes us what we are.
I meant you on the chat, obviously, with Keith Bonus yesterday. Obviously, I was there as well, but you mentioned there's a lot of stuff about the coaching development program and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like how you asked Keith how he would change it. So I'm going to put it onto you, like the same sort of question. Like, what would you do? Because I'm curious to find out really. Like, what would your solutions be to kind of improve things? Because we need to improve things as well, anyway, in football.
Look, we're so far behind in this country with regards to progressive thinking and progressive teaching and the way that we do things. We're so far behind. We have this sense of entitlement where we think because we invented the game that we are the be all and end all, and we're not, because I think it's only in recent years really that the education department in this country has kind of really stepped on a little bit. And what I would say is that before the last 5 to 7 years, the majority of English coaches will go into Scotland and Holland to go and do their A licenses and their B licenses, because it's just, we kind of put ourselves on a pedestal that we don't deserve to be on, because there was once upon a time some good old days like 1966, and we really have to move away from that and try to reinvent what we are and make sure we stay ahead of the curve. I mean, look at what Germany have done, and not just with the national team, but now look at the league, the Bundesliga. It's fine. We can say that the whole league might not be like the Premiership, but the top teams wipe the floor with all of our top teams, and it's not even close.
Our young talents going over there, right? Do you know what I mean?
And now all of our young players are going over there as well. But don't get me started on that, because that's a whole different issue. And that comes down to individuals, again, people not wanting to give young players a chance, and that's a real big problem in this country. But again, I think the nature of the beast is results, and when a manager isn't educated enough to know how to get the best out of people, B, doesn't have the right life experience to relate to players, C, I'm trying to not be as aggressive today.
We don't want PC Apple. No, we didn't come here for PC Apple, man. Come on.
And see when managers are under the cost and they need results and they kind of just want to stick to what they know, the tried and tested and familiar. And that unfortunately spells bad things for young players in this country. And it's difficult to watch, really. I mean, like Jadon Sancho, how City have let him go to Dortmund is beyond me. And for the price that he went for was ridiculous. He's a golden boy winner. This is unbelievable. And we're seeing it again with more players. Chelsea's academy, United's academy, losing players and maybe even releasing players that they shouldn't be releasing. But that's neither here nor there. It's all about opinions. But we are where we are.
I want to talk to you about opportunities, because obviously speaking to Keith yesterday, he was talking about his opportunities and jobs that he's applied for that didn't get and stuff like that. I just want to talk to you about, is there any opportunities that you applied for that you maybe didn't get or should have got, or like how do you kind of go about expanding your chances of getting these jobs? Because they always say the whole cliche about, you've got to have experience to get to a certain level, but how do you get that experience if you're not given the opportunities? Like, it's kind of hand in hand. Like,
look, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. The whole process is bollocks. The whole process is bollocks. You will see a job description go up and it will say, you must have a B license, you must have an A license, you must have got 5 years experience of this and experience of that. Listen, I've been dwindled down to the final 2, final 3 for jobs that I was not qualified for. But yeah, there were guys that have been in the industry for 15, 20, 30 years at this level, the level that I'm now at, and they are getting turned down. But yet there's people like me there. And I can see that's a good thing. But then at the same time, I can look at it as, were they just checking a box and letting me get that far? And there's look, apply for whatever job you want to apply for. You never know what's going to happen. At the end of the day, they're going to look at what you are on a piece of paper, and they're going to look you up and see what you are as an individual anyway. And quite often these jobs are already given out before they put the adverts out anyway. They do it because they have to put the advert out. Quite often these jobs are given internally already, or somebody's moving up and then they advertise another job, and then you kind of go in at a lower level than what you've applied for. But it's just like, look, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You just kind of have to understand that clubs will always be loyal to themselves. And I'm not telling coaches to not be loyal to clubs or players to not be loyal to clubs, but I'm saying you have to look after yourself as well, because if you get lost chasing the dream all the time, that's when you lose yourself. And it's very easy to become disillusioned with it all. And I must say, I've been on the cusp so many times in saying, right, I've had enough, no more. But then I sort of have to remind myself why I got involved in coaching in the first place. And if I stay at MK Dons my whole coaching career, great. If I stay at Crystal Palace or Arsenal, wherever it is that I go, I'm not actually that fussed, because all I'm interested in now is just doing the best possible job that I can. And if I get recognised for that, great. If I don't get recognised for it, I don't really give a shit, because it's the people that I'm working with that I care about. I care if they are getting what I'm getting paid to do. And if I'm doing my job well, then I'll always get good reviews from the players and good reviews from the people that I work with.
From a development point of view, though, do you feel that coaches, especially young ones that got years ahead of them, do you feel like they need to take more chances? Like, sometimes I feel like we're too tunnel visioning, staying here. We should go down the road and that's it. Like, I applaud Keith for what he did. Going to Estonia to get experience and learning. What I mean, stuff like that. But do we need to do more of that? Because it's all well and good, like people coming over and getting jobs, and I applaud it. Do you know what I mean? They're taking the opportunities and chances to come over here, better themselves. But do we need to do the same and go elsewhere to get our opportunities elsewhere?
Again, I'm not going to filter or mince my words with this one. Who wants a coach with no life experience? And why would another country want to take an English coach when what they're doing is superior to what we're doing anyway? So that's where it comes down to the individual, about your personality. And I'll be honest with you, the industry is so full of pleasers. Everyone just wants to be liked. Everyone wants to be loved. Nobody wants to ruffle any feathers. Nobody wants to be known for any one particular thing. They just kind of want to get by, and they hope that having a sort of keeping their head under the radar, or not sticking their head above the parapet, so to speak. They're not gonna damage their chances of getting a semi-decent job in the future. And all that to me is just bollocks, man. It's like that to me is just mad. Like I work with people that should be doing a lot better than they are, and I think sometimes people can be too mild-mannered, and it's like me personally, if I'm a decision maker and I look at some of you academy coaches, and I look at some of you guys, and I just think, you haven't got anything about you. Like you turn up, Like everyone can be well spoken, everyone can dress themselves nicely and look the part on the training ground, but who the fuck are you? Like, what have you got to offer these people? Like, what can you offer these children? Like, what can you offer even me as a coach in this environment? What can you give me? Because I know what I can give you. And you know, here's a funny thing, right? Someone that I work with said to me yesterday at work, they said, "Oh, I saw you live." I said, "Okay, cool." And I was kind of laughing. I said, "Okay, cool." And he didn't have an opinion. Now, what that told me was they were either too afraid to give me their opinion, or they were too insecure about themselves to give me their opinion. And the same person is going to watch this live, and they'll probably pretend that they didn't hear me say what I've just said. And that basically tells me that you are just not the right personality to be involved at high level football. Because this is about influence. If you can't even influence your own life, what fucking good are you going to be to anybody else?
To 20 young people and all the rest of it. No, I agree with that one.
So what I'm saying is, how can we be talking about going abroad as coaches if we're too afraid to stick our head above the fucking door in our own country? It doesn't make any sense. And in terms of coach education, what they're doing in other countries is more advanced than us. What can an academy coach from Southend go and do in Spain? What's he going to take over there? He's got no life experience. Middle class guy. That's what I'm just saying. That's the majority of what we see. A middle class or well-to-do people as academy coaches. They have no life experience. They've maybe gone on a few holidays. They're a bit of a lad. They've played a little bit, but they've got no life experience. They've got no real personality. Who are you? And they want to go abroad. Tell me, please, what they've got to offer. Do you know how Europeans look at us in this country? Do you know how they look at us?
Oh.
And when I say us, I'm not talking about us as black people. I'm talking about us as British people. They look down at us. They look at us like we're scum anyway. No, they do, because our behaviour in football tournaments always precedes us. So when we go certain places, they're already looking at us like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll see. They look at our national team perform, and they go, yeah, right, cheers. Like, it's just bonkers. So for me, I would say, if you've got some personality and you've got some fucking balls, go online, apply for the jobs to go abroad. Belgium, Holland, Germany, go out there, get some life experience. At least try. Even if you're not applying for pro jobs, go over to China, go to Nigeria. Yes, middle-class white guy, go to Nigeria, go to Ghana, go to these places. Go and get some life experience and really understand who these people are, where they come from. Then you'll understand the mentality and why we are the way that we are, or why they are the way that they are. Black coaches, don't just pigeonhole yourself and stay in Tottenham, Edmonton, and all the places where you feel comfortable. Go to Sussex, go to Essex, go to all these places and experience different cultures. Then try to go to different countries as well. I would say we're all too happy staying in a comfort zone, and nothing grows in a comfort zone. Nothing at all. Me personally, my own life experiences, I became comfortable being uncomfortable. And that actually makes the people that I work with really, really uncomfortable. They tiptoe around me. And I don't sense it. I see it and I laugh at it. In my own head, I'm sitting there thinking, wow, what a beg. Like, how are you dancing around me like that? Like, and I just don't care. I'll say it because I'll say it to them as well. I've said it 100 times to people. Why do you act like that around me? Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? No. Well, just fucking be yourself, man. Chill out. Like, go and get some life experience and you'll know how to behave around me. Like, do you know? No, but it's like people are afraid of what they don't know or what they don't understand. So they kind of, and they just change, and it changes their behavior and it alters their perception of what you are. And that's when you get judgmental characters. And it's just really, really childish. Go and get some life experience. Go, I tell you what, if you live in Milton Keynes or if you live in Bedford, go and do some coaching in Peckham. If you live in Peckham, go and do some coaching in Milton Keynes and Bedford. That'll be that's some experience. There's a big difference there.
There's some eye openers, right? Shout out to Joe Black listening in as well, saying big apps as well. That reminds me, obviously, had Joe Black on a couple of days ago, in fact, and obviously mentioned his top 5 gaffers, and you was in there as well. So how does it feel to be amongst such grassroots managerial royalty?
You know, I don't measure myself against anybody, like literally against anybody. I'm not here for like personal accolades. I'm here because I love Ricochet. Like, I love him immensely as a person. I love his project. I love what he's doing. and I'm here for that. So when someone like Blacks puts me in his top 5 coaches, like it's everybody wants to be loved and adored by their peers, and that's a great thing. But you know, I'm not here for the measuring against people. Maz is a fantastic motivator. He's good at what he does. All the other guys are good at what they do. But I'm here as a developer, as a coach, and I measure myself on what I do with other people, not against other coaches, other professionals. So it's like it's always, but it is flattering, obviously, to be thought of like highly by people. That's great, but I don't care about the whole ranking and the whole who's better, who's not. Because if we really wanted to talk about that, I could pull out winners' medals as a coach, as a player, and go, "Nah, I'm better than everyone." Like, and it just doesn't matter. Like, and it's like none of it really matters. So like, all I would say is just like people like Maz, who's been doing this for a while. Big props, like, because it's not easy. I'm trying my hardest to stay away from the YouTube and the drama, and here I am doing a second live. I've been roped into these things. And the thing is, I understand how pressure can really make diamonds, but I can also understand how pressure can crumble people. Just prior to the lockdown, me and Matt had a few conversations. And the thing is, before the whole YouTube thing and before me getting involved with Takers, I just, you know, I think me and Maz were sort of introduced to each other by a mutual friend. And we sort of followed each other on Twitter, and we kind of just always liking tweets and kind of always really liked what each other sort of stood for and the things that people were doing. And then it was like he called Takers out and then was a little bit abusive, and I thought, don't do that. Like, I thought, don't do that. Like, you haven't got enough experience to do that or go toe to toe with me. Like, don't do that. Like, and we had a chat via the DMs and stuff, and we kind of had a really good laugh. But it's just interesting how things kind of pan out, because in the next 5 years, I don't expect Mads to be at this level. Yeah. I don't expect him to be doing this. Just like I don't expect, if I'm honest, like I said, I'm here doing this for Shay and for Takers. I'm not doing it for me, because I've got my job in professional football. I kind of already know where I want to be, and I know what I want to do. But I don't think anything I'm doing here is going to affect me professionally, because people understand what I am as a person, and they know if I do something, I do it wholeheartedly, and whatever that brings with it, it brings with it. But people like Maz, I don't expect him to be here. Like I said, I think he's got aspirations, rightfully so. And even Maz, I would say Maz shouldn't want to be compared to anybody else, because he wants to be himself, and I am me. So, but no, look, it's big love to Joe, man. Like, Blacks is, like, I've known him for a long time, by the way. Like, we go back a while, like going into youth football and stuff, and he's like a legend in youth football. And but yeah, look, it's an honor always to be loved by people that you work with and people that you work against as well. So
yeah, he's even said, there you go, got to love Apple, man. So shout out to Joe Black listening in as well. Got some other people in the chat as well. So shout out to Benzo saying best in the business, and we've also got some enemies. No, I'm joking. We've got Money in the building saying who's going to win next Sunday. So, for dramatic reasons. So, of course, if you guys are not aware, Takers versus Stars FC next Sunday. A double header in the Barnet Sunday League as well. We're just going to have a quick look at the table. As you can see there, Rising Ballers are at the top. Trabzonspor are second. They've played a game more than Takers. Takers are in third. And AC United, aka Stars, are at the bottom. They've had some adjustments made due to some other things that have gone on. But again, interesting. Who is going to win this game? I'm curious. I mean, I want to hear your thoughts, Mr. Westcott.
You know, first, look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say this, but no one bottom of the league can chat to me. If you're bottom of the league, don't chat to me. If you're bottom of the league, don't even talk to me. It's long. Like, look, the only teams that are going to give us a game this year in this league, and I'm being brutally honest, look, us, Takers and Rising Ballers are everybody's cup final. We are everybody's cup final. End of story. The Gowers, all the others, like, and the thing is, this is how little I care about everybody else. I don't even know the other teams. I don't care about the other teams. When you just showed me that table, that's the first time I've seen it. I don't look at it. I don't care. nobody that's bottom of the league can chat to me. They don't tell me about 6 points. I saw what they were saying the other day, and it didn't bother me. And then I thought, nah, you know what? Now you know what? If you're
It rattled you a little bit, though. A little bit.
No, rattled definitely not. But I just thought, if you're bottom tier, don't talk top tier stuff. Like, don't ever talk about 6 points when you talk about takers. Don't talk about 6 points when you talk about takers, man. Don't ever do it. Don't do it to yourself. So, like, listen. All I would say is bring your A game. I know all the players that you've got. One of them is one of my players anyway. And just look, listen, bro, look, takers, we won your league. Like, we've won your whole league. Like, it's long. Like, don't put us on the same platform. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because when you lose, it's gonna hurt a lot. Like, it's gonna hurt. So I'm not gonna talk. I'm just saying, look, don't put yourself on a level with us. And the only teams that I care about are the ones that are another cup final. All the other cup final teams, and there's only 2 of us. And it's us and RB. That's it. That is it.
I mean, listen, the comment section, people are loving it. Rondo's giggling. Even Money's giggling. Rondo said, man said minus points. I mean, look, that's what the table says, isn't it? Benzo as well. Look, end of the day, man. Look, you busted up as well. Look, I had Aaron Clark on the other day. Omaro, shout out to them too as well from Stars.
Yeah.
And they were saying 6 points.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. All this 6 points talk, like, for me, that's mad. Like, if I was bottom of the league, all I can do is look up. Yeah, like, I'm not talking about winning 6 points. I'm not talking about 6 points. I'm talking about surviving. That's, if I was them, I'd be talking about damage control, because they know the quality that we have. That's just listen, if I put out a team of players that were struggling to get into our starting 11, they'd still win that game. So what I'm saying is, look, forget talking about 6 points. Just turn up and do the best that you can, because Micah, your 4-goal wonder striker, he ain't making it past the first half. Yeah, he's injury prone. He ain't making it past the first half, let alone into the second game. So unless you lot have got 10 other players just like him, forget it. Forget it. It's long. Just forget it.
I mean, Cameron's still laughing. Joe Black, I think friends become enemies now. He said, we only got them because of points deducted. Tell the full story clip. I mean, look, I don't really know. All I'm seeing is the points deducted, man. Like, I can get it up again if you want. I mean, look, hold on.
No, bring up. Look, -3. Look, we don't need to. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing from no one.
It says -3. So, again, even if you to take away the -3, that's what, 0, right? Am I being...
Listen, even if they were... Do you know what's mad? If they won one of the games on Sunday, they'd be on 0 points. This is madness. Just don't talk about anything other than surviving. Survive the game. Look, you won 2 games. That's fine. All of that stuff. Look, listen, just focus on surviving the game. Look, we've played 3 games. Look where we are. You man have played 3 games. Look where you are. Like, we're not the same. Like, we're not the same. Forget it. We're not the same.
We're not the same. Okay, we'll leave it like that. I mean, look, if there's any more bites, then I'll leave it at that. We actually had things to talk about, but so much stuff has gone on today.
Apologies.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Rondo saying points deducted is usually for some form of cheating. Whoa, gosh.
I won't comment because I don't know anything about anything. All I know is the only people that should have been deducted points that I know of is Rising Ballers, but I don't know in it. They're kind of been I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, look, I'm just a bystander. I'm just here to watch and eat popcorn. Ricochet saying they were playing ringers. I didn't know about that. Money saying, okay, hostile for now. For you now, Apple. Okay. Robert said, or should I say bending the rules? Laughing emoji. Joe Black said, Rondo, you had points deducted last season. Oh, I mean, listen, tea's getting spilled all over the shop, man. I mean,
this is what I'm going to say. Yeah, look, we can talk about last season. I weren't here, and it's a different time. We're talking about here and now. We're talking about here and now. Listen, all of this stuff is great because it makes for a good rivalry, and I hope, look, when you're someone's cup final, they raise their game 30%. Now, when you give them a reason to want to beat you, they raise their game another 20%. So they should be 50% better. So I'm expecting a nice close game. Especially first 2 games back, lack of fitness, even though I know them lot have been training through lockdown. But yeah, all of that, it's just whatever in it. But yeah, should be close.
Okay. Should be close. What else are we saying here? So Ricochet saying they're coming Jurassic Park. Okay. So, okay, that's going to be a madness. Or we could bring it to their pitch. Oh, he's willing to go anywhere, away trips and all sorts, man.
Listen, Clinton, you have to understand. Listen, anyone can get it anywhere. Like anyone can get it anywhere, anytime. And Blacks is right. Listen, the best team will win. And look, like I said, all of this is like it's great to build up. It's good banter in it. Like it's all good banter. But ultimately, when we touch pitch, we'll talk in it. Like that's just what we do. If you knew the personalities, if you knew the abilities of some of the guys, and there's players you haven't even seen yet that have just started to come back. They're running, they're getting themselves fit. It's going to be interesting, even in general, not just this one game, but for the rest of the league. But I do look forward to it. It should be fun. Should be fun.
I'm just busting up on these comments. Sorry, Ron. Money's saying Rondo's getting a red card.
Hey, Rondo,
I'm sorry, Rondo, bro. What's going on? Rondo said, "Hey, Rondo being in rehabilitation, heads firmly on the shoulders." Love that, Rondo. Yeah. Ricochet saying, "Blacks, I love that." Joe Black's busting up saying Rondo's been in rehab. Ricochet, money didn't want to come. Anger management class in Rondo, man. What's going on, brother? Jeez.
Don't even respond, Rondo. Listen, remember what I told you. Don't even respond. Don't even respond.
Yeah.
Alpha's leave the Omegas to do the Omega stuff, man. Let them talk.
Exactly. Oh, right. So, where was I? I'm just slightly lost now.
And then we got sidetracked by trolls. It was mad. It was so mad.
I know. Gosh, you guys argue amongst yourselves in the comment section. We're trying to have a little discussion here, believe it or not. We're talking about, we're going to talk about pitch prices, in fact, or pitches in general. Obviously, we're getting to that time of year. We're in November now, going into December. A lot of games usually get called off anyway. I mean, we've had a month off anyway, but pitches, man. Yeah. Let's just talk about pitches. So, state of them first of all, and then the prices as well, as always. It's always going to be a talking point.
Here's the thing, and I feel like you've done this on purpose because you're going to open a can of worms here. Because
me? What?
I can't talk about pitches without talking about the FA, and I can't talk about the FA because if I speak,
you're in trouble. Shout out Jose Mourinho.
But listen, you know what? I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. I doubt I will because the truth is the truth. Look, the pitches in this country, from north to south, they are the worst anywhere in Europe. They're by far the worst. We are the only country in what I'm going to call it the footballing union. We are the only country in this footballing union that doesn't have purpose-built facilities for the public. If you go to Belgium, if you go to Holland, if you go to Germany, if you go to Greece, Turkey, Cyprus, even Cyprus and Greece, these places don't have money. But yet you go there and they've got purpose-built facilities, AstroTurf or really nice grass, and it's level at least, and there's nice goals, and even if they don't have plush nets and everything, but they've got a purpose-built facility, there's purpose-built places, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg for people to just go there and play. In fact, it doesn't cost anything at all. And then you wonder why these countries are producing better players than us. I mean, we can only talk about now the emergence of South London. And some hotspots sort of throughout the country where we're sort of producing players with the right mentalities, and then we've got good coaches working with them. And again, these coaches are from abroad. We've got Spanish, Brazilian, Italian, Dutch coaches, German coaches all coming here working in the best clubs, the best academies, and they are now producing the best players. But you can also say that they've all been influenced by Europe. But if you talk about what we were doing prior to that, what were we doing? What we got? We ain't got nothing. So look at the pitches. The pitches are a joke. Then you talk about cost. It's criminal. So it's absolutely criminal. And if we were really serious about sports and infrastructure in this country, not only would we fund it properly, but we would also put a cap on what people can charge. Because even some schools are taking the piss. Like £200 for a game. How do you sleep at night? How do you feel okay knowing that you've just charged a group of 13-year-olds £200 to play a football match?
I mean, there's some places that are charging double that apps. In fact, to play in your league just for cup finals. I mean, I've been sent some. I don't know if I'm allowed to out it or not, but double what you said. So you said 200, so word it out. Double that just to play cup finals in the Barnet Sunday League as well. So
I'm not shocked. Look, some of the clubs, like Hendon and Edgware Town, they've got their Silver Jubilee Park, their Silver Jubilee ground, and they haul their pitch out as it is. But if you hear some of the prices that they charge for teams to play there, listen, I understand there's a business, and I understand that you've got costs and there's maintenance. I genuinely get that. But don't take the piss, because all we're doing is we're pricing people out of football. We're pricing people out of football. Football is quickly becoming a middle-class sport. If you cannot pay £600 a year registration fees, which, by the way, some of these clubs are forced to charge it. Some of these clubs aren't forced and they charge it anyway. But that's a different story altogether. But some of these clubs are forced to charge some of these kids, some of these families, £600 a year, £600 a season for registration fees. No kit involved. That's just their fees, like for matches and training.
Didn't it? I mean, look, shout out to Rhonda. Rhonda said, no wonder kids chill on roads where they're getting bread to pay for a little power league pitch. I mean, look, everyone's got to get it. Everyone's got to get it, man. Like, these organizations, whether it be, your power leagues, your goals and stuff like that, fair enough, they might have like pay and play sessions and all the rest of it, but like, come on now. If it all goes hand in hand, because again, like, if kids ain't got nothing to do, they're gonna end up doing a nonsense, and then we're like, oh, these kids, but then hold on a minute, like, they can't get facilities. It all goes hand in hand. So what we're doing about
look, it is genuinely one of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen when it comes to football. It's the greed. It's the greed. It's disgusting. Look, over the first lockdown, and actually just before the first lockdown, I done a boots collection. One of the things that hit me, like, look, I talk to a lot of players. I talk to a lot of players. I talk to a lot of parents on social media. Look, I don't have a massive presence on social media, but people contact me because I'm a coach and I do a lot of stuff in the community. And they're like, oh, so-and-so, do you know? I'm like, yeah, like, he couldn't go to the trial. He couldn't turn up to this training session. I didn't have the boots and he didn't have the Astros. And, he had a pair of Astros on and they wouldn't let him play on the AstroTurf in Astros because they told him he had to wear molds and he hasn't got molds. And it just really baffled me. And I was thinking, all right, okay, cool. So I put it out there to Twitter and I said, look, if anyone's got any old boots, if you don't mind, can I come and collect them from you? I'll come and collect the boots from you. And I swear to you, I must have received over 40 or 50 pairs of boots. Easy over 40 or 50 pairs of boots. Yeah. First off, wow, amazing response from everyone on Twitter and Instagram. Like, unfucking believable. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm nothing when it comes to this. I'm nothing but a middleman. But all of you people that sent those boots, you guys made it possible for a load of kids to actually continue playing a sport and following their passion and following their dream. You guys made that possible. That's unbelievable. That's amazing. I think I've got 2 pairs of boots left over, and they're a size 6. So if anybody still wants a pair of size 6, I've got 2 pairs of boots. But
you just reminded me of something, man. I think I might have to do that. Like, I think in respect to that, I want to do more. Like, if that's the case and people are going without boots and stuff like that, using the platform that I've provided and other people, like, I want to do something like that. So I'm going to make a note.
I want to say something. I'm going to come across as a bit of a villain now. Don't do it. And I'll tell you why. I'm not going to do it again either. But for one reason, and I think we should all stop doing these things. If we all keep putting our hand in our pocket and we all keep doing these things, the people that are supposed to make it affordable, the people that are supposed to put policies and caps in place will not do it, because the FA should be making sure that 1%, just 1% of the revenue from the Premier League goes into grassroots football. Just 1%. We're not asking for 10%. We don't want 100 million. We don't want. We just want 1% of money. Can it go into facility? A sort of just a community facility that we can charge people a decent amount. Rectory Park, a fantastic facility, unbelievable facility, reasonably priced, good price, fantastic pricing, £60 for a match. for a youth game. If you're an adult, I think it's something like £80 or £100 for an adult game. That for me makes sense. Like, make it make sense. Stop taking. At what point? Look, Grassroots is going to implode. It's going to implode, and then we're going to be reacting rather than being preventive. We have to prevent it from happening. Grassroots football has already started to implode. It started to implode about 5-6 years ago when I first saw clubs charging £600, and they train in a public park for free. Wow. They train in a public park and they play in playing fields where the pitches only cost £30 a time. But yet they're charging £600. That's when I knew grassroots football was on its way out. We have to make it affordable for families. And look, the thing is, we also don't just think about where we would be in the sport professionally if we didn't have grassroots football. Where would we be in society if kids didn't have somewhere to go? If they didn't have something to look forward to? If they didn't have a passion that was realistic, that they can afford to be a part of? So the FA is killing grassroots football by not supporting it. People like me and you, we want to give something back, and we're trying to do these great things, but actually all we're doing is we're crippling ourselves. We're giving the FA an excuse to not fund and not support. Because these clubs should not be allowed to charge £600 a season. What on earth are they paying £600 a season for? What? And they're signing 20 and 30 players in a squad.
It's just cash cow. It's just cash cow.
A lot of these clubs, a lot of semi-pro clubs, what they're doing, sort of step 3 and step 4 clubs, is they use the fact that they're step 3 or step 4, and then they've got 80, 90, 100 teams. And that's just crazy. But one of the best clubs I've ever seen when it comes to youth football is Bishop Stortford. They charge £175 for a year, and that includes their facilities. That for me makes sense. That is making it make sense.
And they get a kit and all the rest of it in that.
You get a training kit and a playing kit with it, a kit bag, little tracksuit. That to me is making it make sense. When you now look across the road at Joe Bloggs FC, that isn't even a step 3 or step 4 club, and they're charging £600 a year, you're taking the piss. The problem is that parents aren't questioning it. They just go, yeah, okay, I'll pay it. Even if they're struggling, some of these parents, single mums, single dads, single grandmas, some of these kids haven't even got parents. And people are breaking their back to pay. What we're doing is we're taking advantage of people's passion. We're taking advantage of people's desire to do something that's going to better their life. And it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. I watch kids with holes in their shoes walking, because they just want boots. They want a pair of boots. And that's the reason why I've done a boot collection. I just thought, look, if some of these kids can actually play some football over the summer, great. And I managed to send out something like 47 pairs of boots or 45 pairs of boots. It's like ridiculous, and that's where we are. And a lot of the poverty is hidden. Everyone's too proud to admit that they're struggling. Everyone's too proud to admit that they're struggling.
I hear you, and again, like, all good points. I still feel like I want to do something. Like when I hear stuff like that, and obviously you're taking time out of your day to make sure that people got boots and stuff like that, I still want to do something. And again, anyone listening in, if you want to jump on board, maybe it's something that we could do. Maybe even like it's something that we could do collectively. Takers, Stars, Roots, any other team, grassroots teams listening, because I know what you're saying, Abs, and I fully agree. Like we're doing the work that should be done by others, but at the same time, if we don't do it, then who is?
Nobody will. I know, man. Look, I know. And the thing is, I'm bitter about it. Like I'm upset about it. So, and I'm hoping that if I can get everyone to stop doing things for a period of time, then they might actually do something. But in being realistic and actually thinking about it, we know that's not going to happen. We know that they're not going to care. We know that, look, the top 1% has got 80% of the wealth. And we know that's how it's always going to be, especially when it comes to football. Anything that makes money, this is how it's going to be. And that's the reason why I wanted to start this amateur Premier League. That's the reason why I want to give these people a platform to go and be great and go and expose themselves and the talents that they've got. Because if we don't do this, then no one else is going to do anything for us. In this country, the gap between the rich and the poor is only getting bigger. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, fully hear that. I mean, look, that probably leads nicely on to the next one. So we ain't got much time for it, but funding. So funding's always been an issue. Even back in my day when I was doing sports development, like applying for funding for clubs, for players and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How hard it is to access it, first of all, how long it takes to get to us, the amounts, the hurdles you got to jump through to get it. I mean, there's so many things to get through. I know, you know,
qualifying criteria, all the boxes you got to check. Listen, you have to understand something. All this money is put in a place, and it's there. It's like people are given pots of money to help people. Now, what happens to that money when it's not spent? It doesn't just go back to central government or go back to like they make use of it and they put it somewhere else. So they make it as difficult as possible for people like you or me to apply for funding and grants. They make the qualifying criteria so ridiculous that only a select few can actually benefit from it. And then what they do with that leftover money. Now, look, I'm merely speculating here. I'm not saying that as a matter of fact. Don't quote. I'm saying I'm merely speculating here. But with my experience managing budgets, whenever I've had money left over in a budget, my boss would lean over my shoulder and go, "I'll take that." And he goes and puts it into something else that he's passionate about, that he cares about. And one of the things that I saw being in the fire brigade, when we had our sports program, the money that wasn't spent on the sports program was being taken out and was being put into other things that they were interested in. And they were going on golf days and they were going, you know, it's just, if I speak, I say too much, but, you know, it's just like, you know, taking from the poor to give to the rich. And that's all we ever see. People that apply for grants and apply for funding aren't rich people, are they?
No.
Otherwise, they'd be doing it themselves. So they make it impossible, nearly impossible for us to get that kind of money. And it's just ridiculous. It is. Nothing's going to change. We're going to moan. We're going to talk about it. Nothing will change.
Yeah.
Nothing will change.
That's why. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, you know, sometimes you've got to take matters into your own hands with all of these sort of things. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, like I was talking before, people can't afford kits or boots or, you know what I mean, making sure that facilities are available or whatnot. So, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where if you leave it for too long, nothing happens. But if you do stuff, then I don't know. Maybe it will happen eventually. I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure.
Nothing will happen. Look, forgive me because I've kind of gone backwards in coming forwards and forwards in going backwards. And I've perhaps not been as clear as I want to be with some of these things. But each of these problems, when it comes to funding and sports, they all affect the next issue and the next issue and the next issue. But they all stem from one place, our FA. They don't give anything to us. They don't give anything to grassroots football. Like I think we touched on it the other day when we said there was a list of funding that came out and grassroots football got like a massive zero. It got nothing. It got absolutely fuck all. And that's a disgrace because look at what grassroots football gives to the country. $2 billion a year.
Crazy
from grassroots football.
Crazy
$2 billion from grassroots football. But you don't want to give anything back to keep it supported, to keep it going. Look, the worst thing is we're not even making up noise and saying that we want pitches like and facilities like they've got in Belgium, Holland, Spain, all these places. We're just saying we want to be able to afford to play. Like we're asking for the bare minimum, and we're being met with nothing but hostility or denial, even point blank denial. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Oh, we do this and we do that. No, but we need money. We need funding. We need policies. We need law changes. We need caps on people trying to exploit people, vulnerable people wanting to play football. Like, you know, because people need to play. Bear in mind that it's not just a matter of want. People actually need to play for their own mental health, for their own physical fitness. There's so many different reasons why people need this sport. Escape. You know, it's what I needed football for when I was a kid. I needed it to escape. I needed it even just as an excuse to get out of my house. I needed football for so many reasons. I needed football also because it was the only thing that I was so good at that I would actually get some sort of praise and get some sort of love. I didn't get that as a kid. It's just, like, people need this sport and sport in general for so many different reasons. If we don't support it, you know, the societal changes that we're going to see are going to be irreparable. Broken people or hurt people. That is what happens, you know. So we have to be really, really careful with the things that we're doing, because right now we're just not doing enough. And the real problem is that not enough people care about the fact that we're not doing enough.
Just to end on a funny, controversial note, would any Stars FC players get into your combined 11?
Not one.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to ask, man. I had to ask. Well,
Not
if
one.
you
Not a
still
single one.
11 Takers and Stars,
Yeah.
none of them. Not even Omar, Aaron Clark. You mentioned Micah earlier. I heard they got a goalkeeper, Raven. Shout out to Raven, even though I've never met you. Anyone? No one? Joe? Joe? Shout out Joe. Come on.
Listen, here's the thing. I'm not going to talk about Micah when I talk about combined 11, because Micah's not their player. Micah's my guy. He's my guy. He's my player. And after we do what's going to happen, listen, once they get vandalized, we know what's going to happen. Micah's going to come back home. That's it. End of story.
So you're telling me after you guys win, this is your words, Micah's going to come play for you, yeah?
100%. This is his home. Why would he not come home? Doesn't make sense.
Hey, I mean, you said it. Money, if you're listening, Joe, if you're listening, you might have to find yourself a new striker, man, because
if they're not Stars were smart, if they were really, really smart, and I'm not even saying this to be condescending, and I'm not saying this to be controversial. I'm saying this and I'm being really, really serious. If they were smart and they were really interested in the longevity of this thing that they're doing, they would bin off what they're doing and they would come and be a part of Takers. They'd understand that the Takers train is so big, it's unstoppable. It's unstoppable. What we're going to do is unstoppable. If they were smart, everyone being from the same area and having the same connections, they'll come and be a part of what we're doing, and we'd have an unbelievable squad.
Oh, so combined, I fully combined 11. Wasn't even like
combine the clubs. Listen, look, it would still be what we're doing would be Takers FC plus my player that they've got on loan. But otherwise, everyone else would make an effective squad for a reserve team or another team that's going to play in this one while we play in the Amateur Premier League and all these kinds of. Look, I'm just saying we need to come together. Abbey FC knew what time it was. They knew. They had to relinquish the team. They knew. They had a couple men that come on. They said, listen, who's the best team in Northwest? Okay. They held corn and they said they had to bow out. And they said, listen, we might as well just give you the title and done there. So I'm just saying the Stars, if them were smart, they would know. They'd just come on board and we'll do something big together. And we don't need to do banter against each other. We do banter against everybody else.
Okay. Strength in numbers, as we say. Unity and all that.
Listen, divided we fall. Together we stand.
There we go. We'll end it on that one, man. Oh, yeah, a pleasure as always, man. We've definitely got some quotables in this one. Boy, laying everything to right. The 6-pointer, I don't know which way it's going to go. That'll be interesting. In fact, the weekend before, if Money or Joe Black or any of the Stars guys are listening, I want to get both teams on. That would be good, you know?
Be interesting. It'll be interesting because, look, it will be interesting, but let me tell you why it would be pointless. See what I've done there? It'd be pointless. See what I've done there? Okay, so it will be pointless for them because, look, they're doing this right now. Yeah? Don't bother. Like, look, just even if they win a game, they're still on 0 points. It just doesn't matter. Like, look, we don't have a rivalry with them. We do not have a rivalry with them. Like, if they want to gas it up so they can kind of inspire them to play better, that's great. I'll help them do that. But look, Black's already gave my team talk. From I text him pre-season, and he knows, from I text him pre-season and he aired me, and he's never aired a message I've ever sent him in years and years of knowing him. He's never aired a message. He had this one message. I thought, okay, cool. Well, listen, he's given my team talk already. He's already given my team talk. Just like Maz already gave our team talk. Like, so everyone that's out there, don't look, like, it seems to me like everyone's a little bit afraid of what we're doing. Everyone seems a little bit concerned about Takers. We're not concerned about you lot. Like, we don't care about anybody else. We're just focusing on us. If you want to get us all on together, we can do that. But again, it would be pointless for them because we don't have any beef with them. Like, it's pointless. Like, we know what's going to happen when we play. They know what's going to happen. They have to talk it up. Hey, look, it's like a fighter. It's like a boxer. How can I explain it? let me. A boxer that knows he's not going to win, he still needs to sell tickets because he needs to get paid. Like this is what I mean. Like it's just long. Like, we don't need to sit in the same room and chat. Like we don't need to do that. Like they might need the views. We don't need that. Like we don't need to do all of that. But for you, Clint, I'll do anything. So if you want to get us all on together, we'll do it. I'll do it for you, not because it needs to be done.
Fair enough. I mean, look, Rondo said, "Don't let Roots stir the pot." Rondo, my guy, why would I do that, man? This is talking, man. Come on. I'm just saying, like, Money's my guy, you're my guy, Takers, Stars, you know, it's all love, man. I just want to see a good game, man.
I'm just backing around. Now, it'll be, look, anytime, I think this will be a good one, kind of like boxing, and every time some of the big boys play each other, you do like gloves are off. So you do like a little face-to-face. But I'll tell you now, Maz won't come on the chat with me.
No, why not?
You won't come on the chat with me. You won't come on the chat with me. Or maybe I'm just saying that to make him come in the chat. And now me saying that will make him not want to come in the chat.
Reverse psychology thing, yeah?
You know, all I know is he won't want to come on here with me. He won't want to. But now he has to. And that's, what can I say? I don't know.
It's all love, man. It's all love, man. Look, I wish everyone the best of luck. It's been an emotional day, to say the least. Again, at the start of the show, we did say about, you know, Diego Maradona, may he rest in peace, and everyone else as well, Kian Prince as well. He would have been 30 today. 15 years since we lost George Best as well, and Heavy D as well from Arsenal Fan TV. So again, everyone who's concerned, based around them, just obviously thoughts with you as well. But thank you guys for watching and listening. As always, Apple, you've been great as always, man. Thank you very much, brother. And I'm sure we'll definitely do this again as well, man. So, you know, keep your phone on ping on vibrate just in case I get that back the signal call. Yeah.
I'm in so many teams group chats that it's just mad. Like I know everything that's going on. So anytime you want to talk, listen, I can get the screen snaps out and we can and we can reconvene.
All right, man. Take care of yourself, man. See you soon,
Take it easy.
All right.